Remember how I covered Militia Harris Perry's promotional videos? I believe she released 3 of them. And we covered all 3 of them on my program in the past. And apparently she has her own show on MSLSD. I don't really pay attention. But the other day she had who but else Nancy Pelosi on her program. My 2 favorite women in the whole world. Pelosi and Militia Harris Perry coming together. The world's going to end, folks, but Pelosi apparently said that the GOP is obsessed with Benghazi. They're obsessed about it. We need to just focus on how we can bring these men to justice and stop these hearings and stop all this investigation, says Pelosi. Let's listen to Stretch and see what she had to say.
Because it's part of what feels to me, it takes away that optimism. It sort of chips it away from me. This week, we're back to Benghazi. We're back to this anxiety now about tell us who changed the talking points. I want to take a quick listen to how the White House responded to the revival of Benghazi.
Jay, you told us that the only changes that were made were stylistic. Is it a stylistic change to take out all references to previous terror threats in Benghazi?
Well, I appreciate the question again, and I think that what I was referring to was the talking points that the CIA drafted and sent around, to which one change was made. And I accept that stylistic may not precisely describe a change of one word to another.
Jay, this was not a change of one word to another.
No, I'm just...
Jay, these underwent extensive changes after they were written by the CIA.
There was an interagency process, which is always the case, because a lot of agencies have a stake in a matter like this.
So is there a transparency issue here, or is this political wrangling?
Well, Senator Corker, he himself, a Republican senator, said he was satisfied with the responses from the White House. The obsession that some of my Republican colleagues have in the House doesn't look like it's on the path to really finding a solution, but just to keeping an issue alive. Mm-hmm. We have to find out everything about what happened there. There's no question about that. To wrangle about some wording when that it is the intelligence consensus estimate process. Mm-hmm. Everybody puts in and says, this is how I think it should be. They sign off. Those are the talking points. But the point, I think, is this. We take an oath to protect and defend the American people and all of its manifestations. It was a terrible tragedy in Benghazi. We keep, in California, feel particularly protective of the ambassador because he went to school there, his family is there, and so we want to find out what did happen. But there is one line of investigation or looking to it. The State Department, with the high, very esteemed, distinguished leadership appointed to looked into it. And then it becomes an issue that is subterfuge. Let's talk about Benghazi forever, so that we don't have to talk about really what the American people want us to talk about. They want us to talk about jobs. They want to talk about economic security, economic growth. They want to talk about the education of their children.
Oh, yeah. You guys care what the American people want to talk about, right? You spent months on the gun control debate, and yet 4% of Americans really cared about gun control. Only 4%. But you guys are concerned with what the American people want. Let's talk about what they want to talk about. Nothing to see here, nothing to see here, nothing about Benghazi. Let's stop the investigations. Do you ever watch Stretch go on one of these shows? And, her face seems to glow in the studio lights. Not a good glow. It's like a reflective glow. Because let's be honest, she's had some work done. Another thing about Stretch, I don't understand, quite frankly, how she gets around, how she travels, how she walks, because the necklaces and jewelry that this woman wears must add an additional 50 pounds to her original weight. I'm serious, her beads are at least 2 inches each. I mean, these massive beads around her neck, these massive earrings, these massive dangling bracelets. I mean, the woman's a mess. She's a mess. A big plastic mess. That's right, I said plastic. I'm having fun this episode.
Factor Talk Radio.